football fans, but most importantly, USFL fans, because it is game week. It is finally game week, and we are so excited. Today, we got a great episode, as you can see up in our episode 9 agenda of the USFL Authority. We are going through the big cuts that surprised us this week to get to the final rosters, the official Community Power Rankings. We got all the big names. You know, we got the newsrooms, we got the network, we got Ducky. Everybody voted. So we're going over the final power ranking before we see a game. Then we got game predictions. Webb and I are going to run through each game, let you know who we think is going to win and what score we're predicting. Then I'm going to blindside Webb with a sweet question that's going to make him a little uncomfortable. We're going to talk about a giveaway. We're going to get out of here, and we won't talk to you till after the games. All right, Webb, how you doing?
Good, man. I'm ready to go. I can't believe we're 3 days out for USFL football, man. It's just absolutely crazy. It's been a long offseason, and we've been counting it down, and the fact that we're on 3 just blows my mind.
I feel like, do you almost feel anxious now that there's been so much building up to this that now it's, you know?
Well, doing this, like counting down, you're like, I can't wait until the season. I can't wait till the season. Then you got 3 days left, and you're like, oh my God, there's so much to do now, and we gotta follow every single game on the weekends. There's no more weekends off. I'm just ready to go. It's the most exciting league in the world.
It's also incredibly hard for specifically us because you're the maulers guy and I'm the gamblers guy. We're the people that are like, we've been talking them up really hard, and they could stumble super bad, and then we don't look good. So,
well, we just love our team. Like,
I love
our team. I love this team. I really love the black and gold. Like, I can't believe I'm saying that because growing up in New England, Pittsburgh was the rival and everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love the black and gold, especially after last week. But camp's all wrapped up, man. It's all wrapped up. Any surprise cuts you got?
Well, mine, I have 2. So Carrie Angeline, the tight end for the Birmingham Stallions. Now, it makes a little bit more sense now that we know what they had in the works. But when they first cut Carrie Angeline, that was a big surprise because he was, a top at least 4 tight end last year. Won a championship. He came back. He was a name everybody in Birmingham knew. And then they cut him out of nowhere. He was released. So that was a big surprise. But then you see that they got Thaddeus Moss out of LSU. Huge name. Fantastic receiving tight end. So that makes a lot more sense now. But at the time, it was a shocker. The other shocker that still doesn't really make sense for me is going to be the Michigan Panthers cut former NFL first-round draft pick Robert Nicondici, the defensive end, had 2 sacks on Phillip Rivers in one game in his rookie season in the NFL. He was on the Michigan Panthers social medias a lot. I don't know what happened. It must have been a personal thing. It must have been maybe he didn't fit the personality, the culture that they were trying to do. I don't know. He looked like he was 100% in shape. That was the biggest question mark for me going in, was that his work ethic lacked when he was in the NFL. So he looked good. He was on social medias, and then all of a sudden he's gone. So that was big for me, and I still don't really have an answer for it.
Yeah, definitely. One thing about your 2 surprise cuts, they're both 2 L's for you, because I told you the Stallions last week we were going to win the championship, and now they just got better. But and then you picked your defensive player of the year, and he got released. So I'll give you another shot. Who's your defensive player of the year? Reuben Foster.
After
don't take him.
After seeing him, being around him last week, I got a soft spot for Reuben Foster. Yeah. If he comes back, he could be a fantastic comeback story for the league. Yeah. I'd love it. No, I'll go Reuben Foster. Screw it. I'll go Reuben Foster.
All right.
It's either him or, honestly, I would think probably Frank Ginda.
Yeah. They're really pushing Ginda's. He wasn't one of the big name linebackers unless you followed the league last year. He was solid. He was great. He was
silently putting up great numbers.
But they are really promoting him now that the Michigan Panthers social media team. So
yes, but who won't be my pick for defensive player of the year? Scooby Wright. I don't get it. They put him as number 1. I don't think he has a shot. I just don't get it. I like Scooby. I think he's a good linebacker. I don't think he's defensive player of the year. He wasn't even the best linebacker on his team last year. So I don't get that. But who is your surprise? Yeah, he had the big moments. But who is your surprise cut?
My surprise cut, you talked about the 2 most surprising for the entire league. Personally, for the Maulers, it was Delvon Hardaway. I said the entire offseason that the new receivers were going to have a tough time overtaking the returning ones. And to see that a returning receiver get cut, it just really surprised me. But I agree with your two. Those are probably the two biggest ones in the entire league. But
yeah,
otherwise, I don't think it was a lot of surprise. There were not a lot of surprises throughout the entire offseason of who was going to get cut. I think those were the two biggest names.
Yeah. And then for the Gamblers, Cole Mazza, long snapper, coming out of Alabama, was a starter in the NFL, but he's a long snapper, wasn't well known unless you're an Alabama fan and pay attention to the roster itself. I talked about that on Gamblers Table Talk. If you want to hear about that, go over there. But that one surprised me for my team the way that Hardaway surprised you for the Maulers.
Definitely. Talking about the final rosters, are you ready for the power rankings, the community power rankings?
Dude, I am so ready for the power rankings. Like I said earlier, we got everybody to vote. Here, let me pull this down for just 1 second. We got the network. We got the newsroom. We got USFL News. We got, what's the SFF? What is that?
Spring Football Frenzy. Andrew.
Spring Football Frenzy. And then Ducky. We had a lot of people vote. I mean, as you can see, the worst team on there got 106 votes. That's a lot of points. And that happens to be my team, which is super fun. But I digress. So the differences in the last one that we put up, the Generals moved up, the Maulers moved down 1. The Generals moved up 2, I believe, and the Breakers moved down 2. The Panthers moved up 1 and overtook the Gamblers, which they're now up by 4 points. So I'll say this. What's your biggest surprise in the new power ranking after we've gone through and done this?
It would definitely be that the Generals moved so much because nothing's really happened.
Well.
I think we added voters, so that helped it a little bit. But we saw the Generals last week. Like, I have no problem with them being number 3. It just
I believe that they could do that
without doing anything. They moved up to number 3. So
yes, that was
they didn't make any
surprising.
big moves. Yeah,
the fact that nothing really happened significantly with the Breakers, the Maulers, and the Generals, and yet there was a turnover within those 3. That was surprising. It just felt random to me.
Yeah.
That you look at it, the Generals moved up 2 and the Breakers moved down 2. Just super random. I didn't really get it. Now the Gamblers in last, that one hurts, but I get it. I understand. We have so many new guys. We're unproven. Hopefully, I'm going out to Memphis this weekend. I'm really hoping that we prove everybody wrong. I'm wearing my swag. I'm super excited. Yeah, but I get it. I understand.
And to go back to the rankings, like the Maulers were 3rd. I believe they were 3rd last time.
Yeah.
And they were kind of sitting in middle ground all by themselves. And for the Generals to catch up to them and pass them out and comfortably. And then the Breakers and the Maulers kind of fell back together, which is ironic because they're playing this week. That's my biggest surprise. Talking about the end, the 7 and 8, I can't argue.
Interchangeable. Yeah, and then they play this week.
Yeah.
So it'll be obvious which one takes which spot. They might not move up from 7th and 8th, but at least after this week, you'll know which one is 7 and which one's 8.
Outside of your Gamblers, is there one team in the rankings that you think is underrated?
Underrated?
Underrated. There's only 8.
I don't even. Yeah, there's only 8.
It's tough.
I mean, probably I got to go with the Panthers. I think they're a little underrated. I don't think they're as good as people are trying to hype them up, probably because they have the Memphis hub. They have a huge fan base, so people want to hype them up. I don't think they're that good, but I think they're better than 7th. I think that the Breakers could fall into 7. I think the Showboats could fall into 7. These are just teams that also have unproven people. Brady White didn't even start on his team last year. Now he's starting. Okay, I'll take it. He is the best quarterback to ever play at Memphis. He didn't get a chance to really cook last year. Fine. But I think that they could easily fall behind the Panthers. So I would say the Panthers. What about you?
The Showboats. I ranked them 3rd.
Yeah,
I love the Showboats,
3rd?
Honestly. Yeah, I love
3rd.
Alex Collins. Dylan. I love the defense. I just feel that the Showboats are going to be that second team in the South. So that's the reason why I ranked them 3rd. I believe in Brady White. I really believe that Brady White has spent a year in Todd Haley's system. Did he play last year? No. They were stuck to Tiamu. They were one of the teams that did not move off of their starting quarterback. I don't know why, because Tiamu, I think, led the league in interceptions, and it was a turnover machine.
He also led the league in yards.
Yeah, but he also played the most, right? I guess both of them are counting stats, so I guess you can't really judge that perfectly when you only have 10 games. But I really feel that Brady White, in a year within Todd Haley's system, they've been really promoting him. I think he's got to take that step. And he was so good in college. And I know
he was the best quarterback to play at Memphis. Now, people in Memphis, some people don't agree with that, I found. I don't care. He is like consensus the best quarterback to have played at Memphis.
Don't tell me they're saying Paxton Lynch.
No, a little bit. Right. Yes. They also throw some names that are older that you don't know because they're from Memphis.
I got you.
Which is random. But Brady, I met him. He's a very, very nice guy, to be completely honest. So I can root for him, you know, but I don't know if they're third. I mean, I put the Gamblers third, but I am probably the most biased person out there. So
you're basically the low of Houston.
I'm their guy, man. There's no one else really giving us the love. So it's my cross to bear. That's fine.
So Houston shares a hub with Memphis, and the first game on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. on Fox is Philadelphia at Memphis.
Yes.
What's your take? Don't give me the score yet. What's your take on it? Anything?
I don't know. I think that Memphis has a good enough defense that we could really see the Philadelphia offense get tested. I think this is going to be a great. Especially us, we've been talking up Case Cookus. Lowe says he's the best spring football quarterback play he's ever seen. And so the Memphis defense, I think, could really give him a run for his money. And, we'll see if Cookus really is everything that we say he is.
Well, you already know where I'm leaning.
You're saying Memphis is going to win.
I say Memphis is going to win. And I don't think Philadelphia should be crowned as the North favorite that they are in the community. They were number 2 in our power rankings. I just don't see it. I think the defense has a lot of vulnerability. I think Cook is solid. The offensive line, their quarterback changes last year were based off of injury because they couldn't protect the quarterback. It was not because of ineffective play. It was because
that is true.
The quarterback was getting hit. They didn't do much on the offensive line. They're bringing a lot of guys back. I hope for Cook's sake that they become
play better.
Yeah, they play better, but they're a cohesive unit. But I just Philly didn't beat anyone, man. I've said this all the time. Yes, they won against New Jersey in the playoffs, but the regular season,
they almost won the championship.
I did the math actually. Their total win total for teams last year, they had 6 wins. All the teams combined only had 13 wins that they beat. Your Gamblers had how many wins last year?
3.
And they had 17 wins. So they beat better teams than what the Stars did.
Yeah, we beat the Stallions.
You beat the Stallions, but you also beat New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
You also Michigan, which was week 1, right? But you got you didn't roll over, and they played the Maulers twice, which we both know they didn't beat anyone except one team. Michigan, who did not beat anyone except Pittsburgh, right?
Yes.
They beat the Boats, which we found out were very average.
Yes.
And they beat the Gamblers. Which at the last second. They did win in Canton, and I give them all the credit in the world. I just don't think they should be pegged as the number 1 team in the North. I like the football community is pegging them as favorites.
But I find it interesting that Fox Bets agrees with you. They have them in 4th place.
Yeah.
So
they haven't beaten anyone, man. I
agree.
We love the quarterback so much.
Then what do you think? How bad do you think they're going to get beat? Let's start. Now we give our predictions and our score. How bad do you think they're going to get beat? We know you think Memphis is going to win.
I do think Memphis is going to win, and it's going to be like 21-14. I think they'll keep it close. I think they'll score touchdowns. I'm not saying they're a terrible team. I just don't think they should be pegged as the favorites. I think the number 1 team should be Birmingham, and I think New Jersey should get more respect because they did rattle off 9 wins in a row. Do I think Philly can make the playoffs? They definitely can. They are crowned. Like
you want them to prove themselves. Right now, everybody's assuming that they are in.
I guess on the defensive side, I just did not see
the defensive side. I don't get it. That's the one thing. Their offense, I think, is lethal. Their defense is suspect. If they're going to make the playoffs, they're going to be the 98 Minnesota Vikings, where all their defense has to do is get a couple stops in the game, and their offense is going to outscore the other team. That's what they have to do. And I get it. I think that Philly wins, and I'm taking the over on this game. And I think they win 26-24 against the Memphis Showboats. I think they come into that stadium, first game in Memphis, and they beat them.
You put 50 points up on the over and under that was like 38?
Yep.
Wow. I think the home crowd is going to be rocking, though. I think that stadium is going to be awesome.
I think they are, too. I'm very excited. I'm going to be there. I'm incredibly excited. It's the only thing in Memphis I'm excited for.
Ribs, man, ribs.
There you go.
Talking about, so going down the road a couple hours away in Birmingham at 7:30 p.m. is the rematch from the great game of week 1 last year, probably the game of the year that was in the regular season.
That was a great game.
New Jersey at Birmingham, back in Birmingham, 7:30. Like I said, we're not on NBC and Fox. What's your take? Don't give me the score.
I think that Birmingham, I really do feel like they're going to prove that they did not grow this offseason. I mean, other than Thaddeus Moss, did they really add anybody where you thought, wow, they got better?
Jay Sternberg.
Man, tight end, man, just making the game.
Deion Kane, Bo Scarborough for a full season.
You think we'll have him for a full season? You think he won't get hurt?
Even if he gets banged up, they still got CJ Maribel.
That's a completely.
You use that argument. You use that argument with Bo Scarborough, but when it's Case Cookus, it's like he's like got a halo around him and he's protected, and
because he just had his leg broken. That's a freak accident. How often do people have their leg broken in a game where he did? Not that often. That was a freak accident.
I think Bo will be fine. I think Birmingham.
Okay.
I think Jamar with those weapons will take a step forward. I already told you he's my fantasy quarterback if I had to choose one. I really like this offense. Deion Kane is probably my favorite receiver that's not wearing black and gold. This is going to be a great game. I love the other team on the other side too. So
I think it's going to be a really good game, and I think New Jersey's going to win.
That's fair.
I think they're going to win 28-26. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be another, instant classic USFL game.
See, I think a late touchdown is the difference. It's about 8-point difference. That's basically where I was aiming for. 24-16 Birmingham.
Larger spreads. Mine are all very close.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have one 8-point difference.
It's a touchdown. It's a 17-16 game, and they score a late touchdown, and they put the game away. And New Jersey tries to throw the ball, and DeAndre Johnson maybe doesn't make a completion when he needs to.
I think Dakota Prukop definitely comes in at the end of the game if they're trying to beat the clock 2-minute drill. It's 100% Dakota Prukop.
Yeah, but I also Luani was awesome last year in this game. Like that's where I learned the name. Good. Yeah, that's where I learned the name Luani, and I hope that he shows out this weekend too.
Yeah, my brother. So he had Robert Nikomdici. I had Robert Nikomdici for Defensive Player of the Year. I'm changing mine to we'll say Reuben Foster or Frank Ginda. He changed his to Luani without hesitation. Yeah. He was like, I almost put him over Nikomdici in the first place. So.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. So we move on to talking about your brother. We're moving on to the Brother Bowl here.
The Brother Bowl. Dude, I'm so excited for this game. I still believe that Josh Love is going to start for the Panthers. Houston, the coaches have made it public now that Kenji is going to be the starter. I still think that we will see a little bit of Terry. But, I'm very excited. These are going to be two pretty different offenses, I think, because we have a power running back and a running quarterback. They have a shiftier pass-catching running back and a more stagnant pocket passing quarterback. So it's two different offenses. I think the big difference is going to be which defense penetrates more, and I think that the Gamblers got it. I think that they're going to win. I think this is the biggest spread I have. I think the Gamblers win 20-12. And I think they get a minimum of 5 sacks.
Wow. You think it's like Easter Sunday 2022 when they just kept hitting Shea Patterson and then
they were just murdering the man.
Wow.
And Shea could run better than these quarterbacks.
You said 20-12?
20-12. 2012, John Cusack movie. What's up?
Michigan. I didn't expect that one. I have the Panthers winning it 20-10. I just feel like
wow.
I
really
don't
fit the bill there.
The best player on the field is Reggie Corbin.
Okay.
No, it's Reggie Corbin. And I think that he will be able to run a little bit and they'll force a few turnovers. I don't trust your offense completely yet. I could be completely wrong, and I'm okay with that because I like your team because you promote them so well that I actually find myself rooting for the Gamblers, which I never did last year. I hope I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but right now.
I understand that. And I get that Kenji is a little inaccurate, but they're going to be doing single read. Don't be afraid to run the ball. And at the scrimmage, the thing that I noticed was that the offensive line, they execute well. And to see them execute the way that they did in a scrimmage after a short training camp, that gave me a lot of hope, especially when you have a quarterback that can move, that if they can hold for just that long, then we can complete some passes and the quarterback can run. So I think that the offense could be better than anybody's giving us credit for. Do I think we're going to blow the roof off the place? No. That's why I said we're going to score 20 points. And I think 6 of those are going to be Nick Vogel. But I think we could.
I think Eric Marty working with Love on the offseason gives you a leg up, gives them a leg up.
A little bit.
Because Eric Price came in, January?
Yes. Right?
And
no.
Like right around the Christmas. Time Summerlin.
Right before Christmas.
Yeah. And so Love has been working with Marty for almost a year now, and he understands the offense. You've got a whole new coach staff, and I know they do too, outside of the offense coordinator. Mm-hmm. But I think that relationship, you promote it all offseason after you talk to Josh Love, that they have that tight relationship, and I just think that gives you a leg up for week 1. Now, if they're playing you guys in week 10, it might be a different story, but I just think week 1 with a short training camp, I can't believe training camp's over, man. Like, I felt like it just started.
So fast. It was so fast.
Super fast. So, like, I just think
the season's going to go fast, too. But
And I think Reggie's going to have a great season this year. I really do.
I do, too. I think, barring any significant injury, I think he has a real shot at Offensive Player of the Year.
Before we move on to the next game, don't you find it weird that all the new coaches are on Sunday? Like, all 4 of them. All the returnings are on Saturday.
Breakers, Pittsburgh.
You think they did it on purpose?
New coach Sunday.
Yeah,
we got new bandana Sunday at my house. Every Sunday we put a new bandana on our dog. We got new coach Sunday out here. We're putting all the new coaches show up on Sunday.
Wow.
Sure. It's a weird comparison, but that's immediately what my brain went to.
Benny, right?
Yep. I have been domesticated.
I didn't expect Benny to get a shout out on
Benny got a shout out. Heck yeah, she sleeps in the room in here all the time while I'm recording, so I might as well give her some love. My little
she probably knows football a little bit better than you sometimes.
Sometimes. She looks like a fullback.
All right.
But speaking of
Bobby
Pitts,
Holly?
yeah. But speaking of Pitt, last game, Pittsburgh, New Orleans. Oh, I even had a segue. That's impressive, dude. Just came to me. But
pretty good.
This game, I mean, like you said, I'm not going to be as mean as you because you still said that the Gamblers are going to lose. But like you said, you root for the Gamblers because I promote them the way that I do. I highlight, the positive things they do. You do the same thing with the Maulers. So I like the Maulers. Heck, we were down there. We were around the practice and we watched the scrimmage. And I got to see the personality of this team in action and what they were doing. Feisty, but they're great. And they loved, it seemed like they really had a brotherhood and they loved being there together, even offense and defense. So I root for that team now. That's my Northern team. Sorry, Mav. Panthers going down week 1 and they're not my Northern team, but I got Pittsburgh. Win.
Yeah. So this one is a tough one for me. Obviously the new coach.
It's like, old girl versus new girl. Like,
old girl's got like a whole new wardrobe, a whole new look. They got everything. Like it ain't the same. It ain't the same girl that I used to.
Old girl got a makeover, and you saw it on Instagram. And you said, "Oh, okay, glad I left that."
Exactly.
I get
exactly.
it.
Shout out to Love.
I've been there.
Yeah. I feel like the Maulers coaching staff has basically returned, and the change has been at the top. But I think they're in their second season, so they got to progress. While New Orleans, yes, I know MBT has played for Flip at one point in his career, but I believe that was a while ago, and it was like a camp, and it was like a short period of time, and he didn't play for him.
Everybody wants to bring that up. I think it's a lot more. They have a personal relationship as friends and in the football community.
Well, they're about the same age. Yeah,
yeah. Well,
same generation.
They're not. But I think it's much more a personal relationship that brought him there, not he played for him. So I think you're right. I mean, he still was coming in and learning the offense. So
he's definitely the number one quarterback. I know Flip likes to go out there and tell the public that every guy's got a shot, but there's no way they're bringing an older veteran quarterback down from Canada and not giving him that at least the first snap. Now,
I don't think we see Davis Cheek at all. Yeah. I mean, we might see Akil Glass come in the way that we might see Terry Wilson come in for some packages where they want you to think, hey, the quarterback will run here, like that. But I don't think it's MBT. He's going to start. He's going to start the game. He's going to play a majority of snaps. If he plays less than 90% of the snaps, I will eat the sock I'm wearing right now, unless he gets hurt. If he gets hurt, that doesn't count. But if he plays less than 90% of the offensive snaps, I'll eat my sock. So,
all right. This is a sock bowl now. I feel like the whole, and I know this is very cliche, especially for week one. I feel like the whole game is based off of the offensive line and the defensive line for this game. If the Maulers can put pressure on MBT and force him and hit him.
Well, he can't run.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same as the Panthers.
They have to be there and get in his face.
Dude, you got to blitz. Especially when you got someone like Reuben Foster who can cover downfield, who's got, I mean, he can cover that center, over the middle zone. Blitz. You should be blitzing every play. Make MBT feel you, but also you got to think that MBT, he's never been mobile.
Yep.
People have been doing this to him for years. He's going to be prepared for it. Yeah. So that's the only thing is that, if it was a younger guy, say, you got Josh Love, you got Carson Strong. These guys, they're still young, whereas MBT, he's used to the blitz. He probably feels comfortable in the blitz. So that's the only thing that gives me pause, that eventually, if you're bringing a couple blitzes and he doesn't even flinch and they're just getting first downs, you have to reevaluate, and then it might get difficult. But I do give the Maulers the edge for the fact that I think their defense is legit.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the corners too, containing Johnny Dixon and Jay Adams and all their new receivers.
Well, I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to say Jay Adams, while a fantastic receiver, he didn't put up numbers last year. He had two good games. Otherwise, he didn't do anything. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying that he's not good. I'm not saying that, they weren't having problems with their quarterback. Their running back goes down. TJ Logan goes down. Yeah. But he had two good games. That was it. Johnny Dixon's the guy that I'm like, you got to cover this guy up. He's going to get the ball across the middle. He's going to get the ball on screens, and he's going to tear you up because he's that.
Well, they're going to. So last year, it was actually Taywan Taylor that tore up the Maulers' defense, but they beat him on the ground. Anthony Jones, I believe, had like 115 yards. He had his one.
Was that the game he did that?
Yeah, against the Maulers. So they were able to. I think they held him to like 96 passing yards. And they had bad quarterback play. Surprise, Maulers a bad quarterback play in 2022. But that's what really cost the game. Like, they lost the game by 10 points, but they had 3 turnovers and 3 picks. Like, they cannot give the ball away. James Morgan cannot give the ball away. And I think they could stick into this. And I have them winning 23-20. I said on my show, Hammer Time, go check it out. Team Wednesdays, Dinner with Webb, 23-20. Pittsburgh.
Team Wednesdays. I have Pittsburgh winning 14-10.
I'll take it.
I don't think Pittsburgh's offense will be that potent, especially not in game one. But I think that they can win, and I think they might have a defensive touchdown. Put me on the board.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll take a tarp and turn it into a touchdown. That's fine.
And I think that, especially in game one, offensive line is really hard. I think MBT has a struggle for game one because he's coming from the CFL where they do get a full training camp. It's kind of more year-roundish. It's a very cemented, well-known league. And I think coming to this, it's much more rushed. He plays it cool because he's a veteran. But I think that he's going to get hit, and it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think that could be the most low-scoring game this weekend. And I don't think that Jones is as proven as a running back. I know he had a good game, maybe 2, but not having Jordan Ellis as his 1-2 punch That's a hit. That's a cut. If he was cut this week, he would have been like number 1 on my list of big cuts. That was weird. Jordan Ellis. So the Breakers still have a question mark for me at running back.
All right. Out of these 4 games, what's your lock? I know
my lock.
I guess this is kind of a blindside, but
as in like who definitely wins.
What the game that you just predicted that you're like, yep, I'm not losing this one.
Oh, Houston, Michigan, 2012.
Well, not even the score. You're guaranteeing a Houston win.
Yep.
Fair enough. I'm taking Memphis to beat Philly.
I saw it coming.
Yeah. I love Memphis. It is what it is. Memphis.
All right. So we've done our game predictions. So if I look up at our little agenda there that I forgot to have up for most of this time.
Wrong way.
Yep. It's just right above me. That's all I got.
Yeah, you got the easy part, man.
It's now my blind side.
This is a regular season blindside. I'm not ready for this one, man. I'm used to, yeah.
I want to know, do you believe that the Maulers will win this game? Full-heartedly, yes, you believe that they will win this game?
First of all, it's week 1, man. Everyone's 0-0. There's
but we were at the scrimmage. We saw how it went. We saw the team. We have a great feel of this team.
But I have not seen the yes. And
okay, to be fair though, the Breakers scrimmage sounded not good. So double-edged sword there for my question, but that sounded worse.
The fact that the staff continuity, I think last year we saw that Bart Andrews was with Brian Scott and Case Cookus in the spring league, and they were able to, go 6-4. Jamar with Birmingham and Skip Holtz, they end up winning, right? Mike Riley kind of made it simple, and they were able to run the ball, and they were able to win. Yes, I do think they should win against the Breakers. Okay. And you might be right on the score prediction. I probably was looking at the offense a little bit more.
I think it's a low-scoring game. I will be in Memphis. I am betting the under on that game. I promise, Brian.
Yeah, it's 36.5. So last time I checked. So you might be right, and I'm okay with that. Like as long as
you told me you like defensive teams.
Oh, I love
when it's a knockdown, drag out defensive battle. No one's scoring. It's a stalemate. It's who's going to give up first. I get that, and I do enjoy that as well. I'm a Vikings fan. I'll take whatever wins I can get. So
I got you.
I get it, but I do think that is the lowest scoring game of the weekend.
That's fine.
Well, how about this? What do you think the highest scoring game is going to be?
The highest scoring game I had Birmingham.
I was going to say Philly, Memphis.
I had them 21-14.
My predictions, I have New Jersey, Birmingham, but I think the game that has the highest probability of being high scoring is going to be Philadelphia, Memphis.
That would be awesome.
Those are going to be it's going to be the most pass heavy game.
Yeah,
if you're looking at the two coaches, they're both returning. The offenses that are returning, those are incredibly pass heavy defense or offenses. You're looking at one offense that had the passing yard leader, and you're looking at another offense that had the single highest score in a game last season. So I think that game
would just be great for the league with that home crowd.
That'd be awesome. And I'll be there.
Yeah,
it'd be wild. I'll be losing it. Look at me in the stands. Look for me. I'll be in red.
And you already know my feelings on the Stars defense. So
yeah, that's why. That's another reason is that I think both defenses could give up points.
Fair enough. We forgot to mention KB. KB, what's your lock of the week? And we're going to throw you a curveball. Here's your blindside. KB, blindside.
I'm thinking I too believe in the showboats.
There we go, baby.
Let's go.
I do.
There we go.
I think I was with you, Webb. I think I put them third in my power ranking as well.
Yep.
That's okay. She's just my mother-in-law, but it's okay. She can go with you this time.
The tugboat, right? That's the tugboat, right? Choo choo.
They have steam stacks. They have stacks on a party boat, on a showboat.
All right. Showboat, whatever.
Casino boat.
All right. Thank you, KB, for being on my side.
That hurts, but okay. When we play Memphis, when the Gamblers play Memphis, if they don't call it Casino Boat Week, I'm gonna be so annoyed because it's literally right there. It's the low hanging fruit, and I want them to take it. But that has been it. We've gone through the cuts, the power rankings, the predictions. I blindsided you. It wasn't a hard one. It's week 1. I'm going to build up suspense. It's going to get harder every week. But the last thing, make sure you hit that like and especially that subscribe button. Subscribe. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we are going to randomly pick a sub to send a signed USFL MVP Cavante Turpin Cowboys jersey. It is gathering dust in my closet. I want it out of my house. I want to send it to a fan, and I want you to send me a picture of it on your wall. So make sure you go subscribe to the channel so we can get rid of that jersey. Give it to one of y'all who will appreciate it and love it for the rest of its life. All right. Well, that's all I got. What about you, Webb?
Oh, we're closing in on 1,000 real quick. So
we are. It is.
If you want to win the Turpin jersey, don't wait any more time. Like, you got to hit the bell.
You got to jump in.
Yeah, you got to click boom. Click boom.
What is it? Click boom.
Click link. Click boom.
Click boom. There you go. All right. And with that, we're out.